Hello, I'm Chef Rob Stinson, and this is Fit to Eat, and today we're working on a Southern favorite, pork chops. We'll be baking instead of frying, keeping the crunch but losing the fat. We're also making mashed potatoes and gravy, but we're going to watch the fat content on that too. We'll even treat ourselves to a little bacon with our green beans, and we'll get started as soon as we come back. All right, you've been living a healthy lifestyle, but you miss that great Southern food you grew up on. Instead of rewarding yourself with a trip out for fried pork chops, let's make a healthy alternative that's delicious without being full of fat. Pork is a healthy, lean meat. Pork is a good source of B vitamins which help metabolize food into energy. Now, you can see in front of us right here, we've got a beautiful center cut loin on the bone chop, okay? And it sounds kind of confusing. Well, it's your typical pork chop you're going to use for frying. What is not typical is what we're going to do with a gluten-free flour mix. So let's start there. All right, where do we begin? Flaxseed, ground flaxseed. This is flaxseed meal, and this is golden flaxseed ground. Combining the two, I find, gives you a really nice blend of flavor. Okay, we're just going to mix those. And we're going to add in a lot of different flavors to this because they don't sell flaxseed seasoned. So in there, we're going to put some dry mustard, some garlic powder, and remember, garlic powder doesn't have salt. Some white pepper, got to pep it up with some flavoring, and some black pepper, and then some onion powder. So you've got all of these beautiful ingredients going in there that are going to make the flavor of this wonderful. Now, the one for pep, a touch of cayenne pepper. Okay, remember, cayenne pepper is so much spicier than other peppers. But it adds a nice flavor that will bring this into that southern great flavoring of traditional pork chops. Okay, mix it really well. You got to get all that seasoning mixed in there. And I think that looks great. All right, now we're going to make with skim milk, not whole milk, and 1 egg, and realize very small proportion of this is actually going to go into the dish. You know, in other words, what you actually consume is probably not even more than 1/4 of this. Got to mix it very well. That egg actually works, and I'm sure most of you know that it works like the glue. And that'll hold the breading on. Okay. Now, let's bring, easy to do this on a plate. And we're going to take our mixture, spread it on our plate, put our pork chop in that bowl. And this is the easiest way I know to be sure that it's coated. All right, move it down in there, make sure it's all covered. Then take it, spread out your breading. Really easy to do. We're going to turn it a few times, and you notice by doing it this way, you don't get your hands all coated with the breading. Okay, then our next step on this will be to take the breaded chop and sear it with some zero fat spray, you know, your pan coating. All right, let's go on this side. Looks like the coating is perfect. It's beautiful and uniform. Really easy to do. So now let's go over here to our pan, which I've taken the liberty of getting warm. Spray our pan coating. We want a nice amount so there's no sticking. And then let's Bring that plate right over and set it down. Okay, we're going to turn the heat up on the pan. Now, you guys, if you've watched a lot of the shows, you notice I always use hot pans. There's a really good reason in this case that you put it in where it isn't, because we don't want that breading to burn, but we do want it to sear. So what's the other trick? All right, I'm asking you. I don't hear anybody out there answering. Yes, don't move it. Don't shake the pan. Don't try to move it at this point till I see that it has started bubbling all the way around the edges. You don't want to move it, because all that'll do is knock the breading off of the pork chop itself, which would kind of defeat the purpose at this point. So let's make sure that we don't do that and give that a chance just to cook the way it is. Now, let's talk about our green beans. I love good fresh green beans, okay? What's the difference? Look at that. You know, when you see fresh green beans, I mean, they're firm, they're crispy, they've got all the nutrients. Look at how beautiful all these are, okay? And that's what we're going to use. Now, I have done one thing to the green beans. As you notice by looking at them, I've cut off all the tips, so there aren't any strings or sinews of the bean itself, and that just makes it nice and easy. But other than that, this is just a great fresh green bean. Oftentimes in old days, when you had the smothered green beans that cooked for hours, you know, and they kind of, what do? They reduce down in pork and you name it. All kinds of lard and pork make the dish. This is one that won't have any of that. So it really is a nice, simple way to cook it. Okay, now I'm looking over at this chop, so we're going to move back there for a second. And you see what I was talking about, where it's bubbling? Now you can pick one end up, and you see it has browned perfectly. That's just what we wanted, okay? A nice brown sear on the flour. Turn the temperature down, because we're going to use the same pan to make our gravy a little bit later in the show. Okay, now where we're going to go with this is, let's switch this pan right now. I've got another pan hot, and this will be the pan that we're going to use for our beans. So let's go ahead and give another shot of our zero fat spray pan coating. And now we're going to add in our beans. Let's throw those in first, because we want those to do a nice little sear. We're going to use about a tablespoon of our beautiful sliced red bell pepper, about the same of our onion, about a teaspoon of our minced garlic, not as much as usual. You know I love garlic. I don't think you can ever have too much garlic. Some cracked black pepper. And the flavorings already have a great aroma. Now let's go ahead and toss those, because you'll see those beans are browning because I've got that pan nice and hot. And remember, you're doing this without any oil, keeping the fat on this at a low minimum. And why? Because you get the good stuff. This is 1 small tablespoon of dried cooked bacon, so as much of the oil and fat are already out of the bacon, but it adds in that flavor of the pork. And look, we have a lot of great pork farms here, and we absolutely want to support our local pork farms. Now, I've got with me right now a little bit of some fresh chopped tarragon. I love to add a fresh herb in to this preparation, and then a touch, I'm talking a minuscule touch of crushed red pepper, because that's spicy. We're going to deglaze the pan. This is just some water. And I tell you what, the beans smell incredible. All right, we're going to go ahead and put our pork chop now in the oven. So follow me. Turn that on, and we're going to put that on bake, and we're going to put it at 400 degrees. And I tell you what, looks like we got a lot of great flavors going on right now. Pork chops are baking, green beans are cooking. It's beginning to smell like a good old-fashioned home-cooked meal in here. When we get back, we'll get started on the mashed potatoes and gravy, so come right back.
That day is all about celebrating American agriculture, about celebrating our American farmer, all the hard work he does producing our food and fiber. And it's about showcasing our local farmers. Most children think right now their food just comes off the grocery shelf or from a fast food restaurant. They need to know more about it, about how it's grown, how to prepare it, and what better to do it, than an Ag Day to teach them how to do some of those things. One of the things I did with vermeer composting is learning how earthworms take old compost, like food scraps, and turn it into good, usable soil. And the 5-glove activity, they were just learning about the different seeds they can put in the gloves so they can grow some of the lettuces and things like that.
Well, we're just trying to make people aware of what's available, sort of when it's going to be available, and really sort of let the kids actually see the raw vegetable. They come by and then they ask questions and I sort of tell them how it's grown. They get to actually see the person that grew the vegetables and they know whether or not it's fresh.
One dairy we had here was Progress Dairy. They had whole milk, they had reduced fat milk and chocolate milk. And it's pasteurized, not homogenized. And so therefore you can digest it a lot easier than you can homogenized milk. We had several shelves from local restaurants teaching people some of their new recipes. It's important for you to shop at the local farmers market to help your local farmers out, but you get fresh produce, fresh eggs, without having to wait on them. They're grown right here local. Just eat fresh, eat local. It's better for your health.
Welcome back. Let's get started on the mashed potatoes and gravy. We're going to talk a little bit about red potatoes. We're going to leave the peeling on the potatoes, and if you remember, the majority of the nutrients found in fruits and vegetables is just under the skin or the peeling. So whenever possible, leave that peeling on for added nutritional benefits. These red potatoes contain about 5 times the antioxidants of normal baked potatoes. Some of the natural substances found in potatoes act like substances that's found in blood pressure medication, and that helps keep your blood pressure lower. So would you rather take a pill or eat a healthy, delicious potato? Hey, I vote for the second. So let's work on this. Red potatoes, we're going to take, and obviously to mash them, we've got to cook them. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to slice these in half. You can quarter them, you can cut them in thinner pieces, whatever's easiest for you. And that point, you've got basically what you want to throw into the pot. So let's go ahead. And I actually going to cheat here a little bit. Let's pretend we're putting these in to cook because, you guessed it, they take a little bit long to do, and I wanted to have them ready so I can actually show you. So obviously they go in a pot. You would be boiling those just like I did with these. And as you can see, they're cooked. And I like to show people, people wonder sometimes, how do you know exactly when they're done? Really simple, easy way, just stick a fork, and if they go right in and come right out like they do, they're done. So very easy, okay? We're going to get back to those in just a moment, because what we're going to do is take those and actually put them in a bowl with some other seasoning. So let's come over here, move this in the center, get our work surface. We want about a cup of these potatoes. Sorry about that. I'm going to actually get them mashed in here first. It's going to be about 2.5 of these potatoes, okay? And we're just going to literally push into them. Let's move this through. Break the skin in there, guys. All I'm doing is kind of getting these into some sizable pieces that we're going to take over with a fork and a spoon. And remember, the better that you have these into pieces, the smoother your potatoes will be. It makes them good. All right, now, what we're going to add in here, and these potatoes are good and hot, is a little fat-free cream cheese, a little skim milk. Then we want to put our seasoning in here. Some black pepper, some white pepper, and a little bit of our garlic. Got to have a little garlic. Let's move that to the side. We're going to stir this all in here. And you'll see that that fat-free cream cheese will start melting. So now, let's go check, see how our pork chop is doing. And I'm going to start warming the pan that we seared the pork chop in, because a little bit of that flaxseed and seasoning and good stuff is in that pan, and we want to use that as the base to make our gravy. So let's go ahead over, and we are going to check on the pork chop. And lo and behold, I'm going to set this pan is so hot, put that right in the center, and you know, it absolutely looks incredible. Look at that. Perfect, nice and brown. If you didn't know better, you would absolutely think that that had been fried, and you know it hasn't. All right, so now, let's finish these potatoes. They still need to be stirred a little more. Wanted to kind of let that fat-free cream cheese melt in there. All that ooey gooey goodness. I get a great aroma from this already as well. There we go. It's starting to look creamy. And I've always liked my potatoes to have a little bit of texture so that everyone who eats them knows these are not made from a mix. These are not, you know, some store-bought fake potatoes. This is the real deal, and these are great. Okay, now, I see that my pan that we seared those chops in is getting warm. So let's go ahead over to it. And I bet you're wondering, how on earth are we going to make a gravy? Potatoes look perfect. At that point, potatoes can go to the side. So the trick, all right, the trick. We're back to our flaxseed. Instead of flour, I'm going to take some fat-free cream cheese. I'm going to mix it with that flaxseed, and it'll make a roux of sorts. We're going to use it at the tail end of making this sauce. So let's go ahead and spray a little bit more of our pan coating here, especially in the center where I see that the pork chop had been. And we're going to throw in here now some celery, some garlic, some onion, and don't forget Like us on Facebook, go there. All of these recipes are there. I know this gets a little quick and there's a lot to watch. Let's go ahead and break up that garlic. I'm going to move this pan right out of the way down below here. And just a touch more, just so it doesn't stick. That's all we need. I want to brown the onions till they get a little translucent. Big word, simple meaning, just means that you can see through them. That they start turning a little clear, which is what onions do when you cook them. Great flavor right now. I can already smell it because it got some of that seasoning that was in there in that breading, that gluten-free breading, may I add. And this is a gluten-free sauce. So now we're going to add in vegetable stock. And that deglazes that pan. A little bit of our beef stock. All of these sodium-free. Sodium-free, fat-free. Looks great. And I tell you what, gluten-free is such a great diet, it doesn't have to be just for the people who really need to be eating that way. All right, now the trick. I want to show this to you, if I can, right on camera, is I take the cream cheese in my tongs, I dip it in my flaxseed, and where that would be in a normal cooking style, that would be butter that you would be dipping in flour. But here, you're taking that fat-free cream cheese and dipping it in your flaxseed. Why? Because it will make a roux. All right, so our gravy looks wonderful over here. We're going to kind of coat that and then just slowly cream that into the gravy. And it won't take long at all. It'll be a beautiful consistency when that melts. Man, I tell you what, our southern meal's looking better and better, huh? All right, well listen. We're going to take a quick break, and remember, you can find links to all the nutritional information on our Facebook page at facebook.com/MPB Fit to Eat. So, come right back. We're going to put this Southern classic together, and you're going to love it, I promise you. All right, let's take a look at the nutritional breakdown. 599 calories, 47 grams of carbs, 40 grams of protein, 28 grams of fat, and 7 grams of fiber. I tell you what, it's hard to believe that you could have such a great Southern classic. And, you know, this is the way to enjoy it. So let's go ahead and start putting this all together. Mashed potatoes. We're going to put right on the edge here. Kind of make a little space for our gravy, just like you always have, just like Grandma made. But remember, a little healthier, a lot healthier. All right, and now let's get that plate right where we can work with it. Our beautiful green beans, and I tell you what, guys, these are absolutely delicious. I'm going to make a little room on the side here. But I just absolutely love green beans cooked a little crispy with flavors like this. How pretty that dish is as well. All right, take our pork chop, put it right on the side, and now, oh, the goodness. That gravy, let it go around the potato just like you would in the old days. And there you have it. It's another delicious, healthy take on a Southern tradition, and you don't have to sacrifice flavor when making these dishes. And you know, you don't have to sacrifice your health when you want some of those delicious foods you grew up eating. You just have to make smart decisions and avoid using unhealthy fats. Join us on Facebook. Let us know what you think. Remember to tune in next time for Fit to Eat. Take care now.